Nice breezy evening in Florida. It's been chilly all night. I think a cold front came through the hurricane. I'm gonna talk about I'm gonna talk about something a little bit more vanilla than I usually talk about, but still valuable, I would think, and that is creation. I am of the school of thought that everyone has the capacity to create something. Some people more so than others. Some people may not choose to tap into that reservoir, but I think everybody can do it. And here's why. Everyone has different things that they're attracted to. Some people are attracted to different arts. There are people that sketch, there are people who paint, there are people who like watercolors, there are people who like oil painting, there are people who like to patch things together and make like collages of different types of materials. There are people who like doing this with videos and creating videos, being that that's at this point in time the most important form of media on earth, right? As far as gaining mass attention and really being able to convey your ideas across to multitudes of people. And there's people who like to put together songs. There's people who like to put together writings, essays of their thoughts or books or anything like that. Some people like to invent things and they like to put together new devices and ideas that would maybe help them with something or help out humanity with a certain problem. Some people like to create businesses. Whatever the calling is, whatever the thing is, again, I think everyone has the capacity to create. So here's something that people are starting to notice about me. And it's something I've been saying for quite some time, but I haven't really been showing it through this particular avenue as Samurai Black. But I have, kind of been behind the scenes of some very large brands, namely like Apple and several others that I've created these videos for, these marketing campaigns for, all these kind of things. And I kind of was just like really building on my skill set and assimilating more knowledge and all these kind of things. And one thing I noticed is kind of the difference between someone who can create something that really impacts a lot of people and someone who, maybe even just create something for their own fulfillment or someone who creates something that it doesn't really resonate with anybody. What's up? Peace to you in Turkey. Hope you're well. But the thing that I've realized is the major difference in having like an impact with things that you create is actually digging within yourself and trying to create and bring forward something new, right? We live in an era where social media is just constantly bombarding people with, oftentimes the same stuff. No, I don't got none of those, Muhammad. Um, I'm a demon slayer. But oftentimes the same stuff is being pushed to people in different formats. I'm sure many of you guys might like, for example, you go on your Instagram and or even on X or whatever, and you read a thread or you're looking at a video and they're like, oh, this is how you do this and this cool thing with Sora AI or whatever the tool is that they're talking about. And comment this word and I'll send you my free guide, right? Everyone's doing that. It puts everybody in kind of like a cookie cutter position to where now content creation, at least what's being pressed out to the masses, is starting to become very watered down in a sense, to where people aren't really digging within themselves and finding something that's really going to catch people's attention and is really going to draw them in and give them an experience outside of just prompting them to do a certain thing, which is fine. I get that. I'm a marketer myself. But one thing that I realized is like the pieces that the pieces of video or the songs or the pieces of art that really kind of click through with people and have people thinking about it and when they wake up the next day, or like for example, there's this one AI video where this guy it actually kind of inspired me to do the trapped you're trapped in the game series that I'm going to continue as well. But it was a guy, he was playing an arcade game, like an old school arcade, and then he showed himself getting sucked into the video game, and then he fights through some enemies and goes through a couple levels, and then he drives off on the highway with a velociraptor sitting, next to him, the same velociraptor that he was riding on in the second level or whatever, right? This video was so immersive and so unique and so good. Like while I was playing it, I had it playing on my TV because I had my computer connected to the TV. While I was playing it, my son came up. He's 2. He came up to my desk and he started dancing. And every time the video stopped, he was like, "Again, again, again," right? He literally would not let me change that video for like an hour. He kept wanting to loop it over and over again. So this video played 60 times in a row on just my computer. Now, this is a 2-year old, right? It's kind of hard to keep their attention on things for a certain period of time. But him seeing that whole adventurous experience, it really drew him in and it really made him enjoy it. And I really, again, I'm a marketer myself, so I analyze things like this and I'm like, man, you know what? Before he even said that, I watched it 7 times in a row myself. Like, okay, now I see why he's drawn into it. Okay, this is why 450,000 people have watched this video and why there's so many, raving reviews and comments and people are saying it's the best thing they've ever seen, right? I think this is really for real, like true creatives. I think this is really the goal, to create an experience like this for the audience, right? To like it needs to like really stand out from what's going on. And I endeavor to do this with not just my videos, but with like music as well. I've always been of the type to like, all right, if I'm gonna make a song, I'm not gonna say the same thing that all these other guys are saying. I'm not gonna be talking about money, cars, clothes, hoes, drugs, shooting ops. I'm not talking about that shit because it's boring to me. It doesn't inspire me. It doesn't inspire anybody to do anything productive. What's up, Letitia? But instead, okay, I'm going to talk about things that are actually important to me. Okay, I'm going to talk about health. I'm going to find a really clever way to put kale, cabbage, collard greens, and spinach into a bar and twist it in and make it a metaphor with something else. And then by the end of those 2 bars, I have a quadruple entendre, right? Like I'm gonna talk about fatherhood and talk about the importance of what my family means to me and what my position is and all these kind of things. Like I'm going to talk about building a community and working together with people to create something greater than myself. I think for me, that's what my art calls me to do, because there's such a lack of that in the world today, and that's exactly what I wanted to hear when I was a child. I wanted to hear those things. I grew up enjoying Erica Badu and India Arie and Outkast and all these kind of acts who were presenting this kind of music to where it was kind of a different flavor than what was going on at that time, because it was you had the gangster music and then you had the crunk era and all that kind of shit. So that's the contrast, right? So y'all are gonna see very soon, because I put together a script today and kind of got the scenes written out for my next music video, and I wasn't anticipating doing the individual music video for it, but I've been talking about how I have the album Mileage coming out soon, my next solo album, and I've been intending, and what I'm doing with it is creating a movie with it, right? Now, since I announced that, even though according to everyone's feedback, that has seen the trailer, it's amazing. The tech and the abilities and capabilities of these tools that I've been utilizing for them, it's increased tremendously in just like a couple months. So now it kind of gives me a whole new range of, let's say, canvases that I can paint on. and a whole new way to bring some of these ideas to life. And what I came up with today is, oh, okay, I'm listening to the song. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot a music video to this. And it's not just gonna be like an AI music video or AI music video with a little bit of me in it. No, this is gonna be a full-fledged, fully filmed and fleshed out music video. And I might have like, 10%, 15% special effects and AI type stuff, but just a really, really, really good flow to it. So I was going over it with my wife, and kind of running through the scenes and stuff like that, and she starts getting excited. She can see it very clearly in her mind. She starts throwing in, ideas, and I'm like, "Ooh, that's fire!" Right? So okay, now it's it reaches this point to where this creation is a collaborative effort. It's not just me creating it for myself, or me creating it for whoever wants to enjoy it. Now it's a matter of, okay, now we're working together to create this. So there's a whole nother aspect to it, right? So that's kind of another end to this when it comes to creation. Again, it doesn't matter if it's a business, if it's if it's a video, if it's music, or if it's just something bigger. Maybe you want to build a community. Maybe you want to buy some land and construct some things on it that are going to be different if you have those kind of resources, or you can pull those kind of resources together. Okay, well, the, another beautiful aspect of this is actually collaborating with other people who are like-minded in it and who also want to do these things, right? Then it becomes something bigger than yourself, right? So that in mind, yeah, got a new music video coming soon. I'm gonna start, if weather permits. I'm gonna start shooting tomorrow. Got a few other scenes or other places that I have some scenes set that I'll have to visit to shoot some of it. But I'm super excited for this one. In the meantime, I am still going to go ahead and drop the round robin music video. Once I finish that up, I'll drop the trailer to that after I hop on this live, because I just realized I haven't put that on YouTube yet. But that's going to be a lot of fun as well. And finishing up this album and getting this out to the people, it's going to be something different, because I'm putting a lot more of me in it than I think I've ever been able to before. And so it makes it very special to me. So it's a matter of like fulfillment. Like, I'm not competing with anybody. This is kind of another aspect of creation, and I think this is described in the book The Science of Getting Rich, or The Science of Being Great, one of the two, probably both of them, by Wallace D. Wattles. And he's talking about, okay, so there's this common theme that goes throughout these books that he writes, right? And it says there's a thinking substance from which all things are made, that permeates, penetrates, and fills the inner spaces of the universe. And a thought in this substance produces the thing that is imaged in the thought, right? And he kind of goes on from there to talk about the creative process of how you manifest and really bring things into fruition. And in my studies, I come to find out that this thinking substance that he's talking about, I'm about 99% sure it is ether, which was brought forth by Dr. Malachi Z. York and is expounded on in great detail in his book, The Holy Tablets. So, at some point when Wallace D. Wattles was talking about this substance and talking about this process of creation, he raised a good point to where he said the creative mind and the competitive mind can't really dwell within the same realm. If you're moving into space to where you're entirely competitive and you're trying to compare yourself to other people constantly and what they're doing and how they're doing things and all that, it doesn't really give you the liberty and the breathing room that you need to get into your bag and figure out how you want to go about it, right? So I think that's something that's super, super important and slept on. And it's why oftentimes I don't like, I, for many years, I haven't really like super engaged on social media and that sort of stuff because of this, because I know that you can't, I can't constantly look at what other rappers are doing and trying to emulate them if I want to be me. I can't constantly look at what other video creators or directors or whatever what they're doing and try to emulate them. Now I can study it for a period of time and maybe assimilate some concepts, call that market research, but I can't be them. I don't want to just recreate their videos. That's the thing that hasn't worked for me. Just recreating someone else's videos. It literally doesn't work. Um, so yeah, it's just something to think about. If you are a creative or you like to create any kind of thing, or you just want to bring something to fruition, you want to be successful with any sort of thing, and you can measure your success by your own standards. It doesn't necessarily mean financially or monetarily, or fame or anything like that. But if you want to succeed at a thing, one book that I would highly recommend everyone to read is The Science of Being Great by Wallace D. Waddles. And perhaps before that, read The Science of Getting Rich, because it outlines some of the principles, and both of these books kind of stack on to each other to kind of explain some of these processes, like what I was just discussing here today. Mileage album will be in store soon. Right now, we do got the Soul Rising double disc album in stores everywhere. It's also available on my website. You can get a physical copy of vinyl, NFC key tag chain. We got the merch, t-shirts, hoodies. It's getting cool out there, so I'm gonna get some more beanies in stock. I do have a couple of them on there. Steel print paintings, all that kind of stuff is available. Just hit the link in my description. Um, Hit the subscribe button. It's also at the top of my channel. So that's out there, and yeah, I got some exciting stuff coming. I just kind of wanted to pop on here and talk about creation and being a creative for a moment, because it's not something that I typically talk about on this channel. I usually just talk about it with my team, and we all kind of been on our own missions recently, so I figured I would share it with the people. So yeah, if you tuned in, thanks for tuning in. If you're watching this on the replay, make sure you subscribe as well. Check out what's in the description of the video, and happy creating to you. Peace.